Alcatel is launching two new budget phones here at CES 2019, the Alcatel One X and the One C. The One X is the more advanced of the two, relatively speaking. It will sell for about $120 globally, including in North America. The One C, however, will sell for about 70 euros, and it's not coming to North America. It is aimed at markets like the Middle East, Latin America, and parts of Europe. Let's start with the Alcatel One X. It has a 5.5-inch display with a 720p HD Plus screen, and it runs Android 8.1 Oreo. That isn't the most recent version of Android, which is Android 9 Pie, but a phone at this price point can still give you all of the Google goodness you need with Oreo. Note that this is the full version, not the lighter or Android Go version that some phones in this category have. The One X is very thin and light, with a kind of a no-slip tactile backing that borders on rough. It's got a little thin, glossy racing stripe on the side. Alcatel calls this two-tone, but it's really not. Inside, you have a 1.5 GHz quad-core MediaTek chipset and 2 GB of RAM. You get 16 GB of storage inside, which is pretty slim, but again, this is a budget phone. You can also spill over an extra 128 GB onto the micro SD card slot, or you could use the slot and go dual SIM. There's a dual rear camera with 13 megapixel and 2 megapixel lenses and a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. There's a kind of a cool camera interface, and there is portrait mode. You may not get the highest quality photos from the One X, but you're not going to miss out on those depth effect shots at least. Color-wise, the phone will sell in black and blue. Now the Alcatel One C, on the other hand, is much smaller and very plastic feeling, even though it has a snazzier design on the backing. It's got a thicker profile and has these thick bezels around the screen. Speaking of the screen, you get a 5-inch display with a 960 by 480 resolution. That's very low, and it does run the Android 8 Go edition that we were just talking about. There's a 5 megapixel camera on the back and a 2 megapixel camera on the front, but only 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB of onboard storage. Expandable storage support tops out at 32 GB. This one will come in black and blue, but Latin Americans will also be able to buy it in blush pink. There are no sale dates for any of these phones exactly yet, but look for them to start launching in January on low-cost carriers and in retail stores. While these two Alcatel phones may not exactly excite you, they are positioned to sell for when a low price is your ultimate priority. Make sure you're checking out all of our coverage from CES 2019.